You are watching Area DMG.
Welcome back to Area DMG. I am your host, Phil Wesley, the Mile High Mouth, and today we're going to talk about the really quick little announcement that Capcom recently made. You know? Yeah. I think we called this. Yeah. I mean, part of me is okay with this. Part of me is like, ugh. Okay. Let me explain something about what's happening. Or rather, what you're seeing in the background. The background of this video is Resident Evil Revelations 2 being played on the PlayStation 4. Sort of. By playing, I mean, I just kind of run around a little bit and shoot at Moira because she's terrible. I mean, seriously, terrible. Resident Evil Revelations 2 is the sequel to Resident Evil Revelations. I played a little bit of the game, and then it wanted me to buy the full game, and I was like, ugh, no. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not doing this. Well, Capcom announced Resident Evil Revelations Collection. It's Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2, sort of on the same game pack. What you get is Resident Evil Revelations with all of its DLC, and then Resident Evil Revelations 2 with all of its DLC. You get Resident Evil Revelations 1, the one that's on the on the Nintendo 3DS and is awesome, and it's on everything else because for some bizarre reason they ported that one over a ton. Anyways, this is $40. Okay, let me get into this. It's going to be, they're going to release Resident Evil Revelations 1 and Resident Evil Revelations 2 on the Nintendo Switch sometime later this year, 2017. So, probably November. I'm thinking November, or if they're good, October would be great for that. It's going to be $40, and you get Resident Evil Revelations on a game card, and it comes with a voucher so that you can download Resident Evil Revelations 2 to your Nintendo Switch. So, it's a little like Final Fantasy X and 10-2, the HD remixes of those, where they're like, here's, especially on like the Vita. On the Vita one, you would get Final Fantasy X on the card, and then Final Fantasy X-2 as a download, which kind of ruins any sellability of it, because it's just Final Fantasy. I mean, you know, if you bought the remaster used, you got screwed out of 2, and you had to buy that separately. Oh, Resident Evil Revelations and Resident Evil Revelations 2 will be on the Switch eShop at $20 each, or you can buy the little thing to get Resident Evil Revelations, the first one, physically with a voucher to pick up the second one on the eShop in stores later this year. Okay, cool. When Capcom was all like, hey, let's give you a warm, moist barrel of ports, I guess part of me hoped they would be all like, here's Resident Evil 7 on the Switch, because I kind of want to play that. I didn't finish Revelations 2 because they wanted me to buy more of it. I was like, I don't know. I'm not really feeling the story. Maybe I'll wait for a sale. But I really, really loved Resident Evil Revelations 1. I have probably put maybe 600 to 700 plus hours into that on the 3DS. I've because it's been on sale so cheap for like $5. It's been on sale so many times on 3DS for like $5. So I have it physically. I bought it physically. And then I bought it again because I was like, oh man, this is a great game. I think my sister needs to have this. Then I bought it digitally because it was $5. And then when I got another 3DS, which we have two different accounts. I have a right now I'm using my new 3DS, the small one, which has my main account, and the new 2DS XL, which has my secondary account. And on my secondary account, I have also Resident Evil Revelations digitally. I also picked up the I picked it up on the Wii U, so I played through that a bit. I'm like, that's okay. It's going to feel good to have Resident Evil Revelations and Resident Evil Revelations 2 in my pocket again. Well, not in my pocket, but on the Nintendo Switch. I'm looking forward to that. Being able to play both of them portably on a system that can properly handle them, because the Vita version of Revelations 2 is gross. The Vita version of Revelations 2 is terrible. It's just it's kind of like how they kind of botched up their port of Borderlands 2 in some ways. Yeah, it's like, it's not Mortal Kombat on the original Game Boy bad, or let me think of other really terrible ports where they put something on a portable and they just did not care and did not put the effort into it to make it good. Oh, it's not Sega Genesis, Sonic Genesis versions of bad, that one on the Game Boy Advance, but it's still, the Vita version of Revelations 2 is unexceptional, is like being nice to it. It's hot garbage. It makes the Vita look underpowered compared to the 3DS. That's how bad that Vita port is. But the Switch port should be just fine, because the Resident Evil Revelations and Resident Evil Revelations 2 ports on here are based off the ones that I think are on the I think they're based off the PS3 and PS4, Xbox One type things. If you have an Xbox One or a PS4 and you want to play Resident Evil Revelations and Resident Evil Revelations 2 and you haven't yet, Resident Evil Revelations 2 is available now. Resident Evil Revelations will be available at the end of August. But Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 will be coming to the Nintendo Switch, and I'm okay with that. This is a start, Capcom. I am going to pre-order this because I never finished Resident Evil Revelations 2, and I really like Resident Evil Revelations 1. I really do, especially the raid mode. Raid mode is exceptional, and raid mode is online. If there's an option where I can play some of my friends that are on my list in raid mode, that will be fantastic, because raid mode is best in co-op and best in online co-op. And Splatoon 2 has shown me that there are some pretty great people out there, even though my phone seems to go off a lot with notifications that, hey, there's a room, and I'm like, oh no. I wish I could answer those all the time, but sometimes I'm driving or I'm working on other stuff and I can't, which is unfortunate, because if I could, I would never sleep and I would just play Splatoon 2. But Resident Evil Revelations and Revelations 2 coming to Nintendo Switch later this year, probably in October, for $40 or $20 for each separately digitally. You get Resident Evil Revelations as a physical game card with a voucher for Resident Evil Revelations 2. Okay, Capcom, cool. Well met. But now that you've done that, let's look at Mega Man Legacy Collection, but Legacy Collection 1 and 2. It would be kind of great to have Mega Man 1 through 11 all on the same game card. Same with the DuckTales, the Disney Afternoon Collection. I would like that too. That would be great. Do it. Anyways, that's pretty much the news that happened. And it's okay. It makes me think that, I'm okay if we have ports. I really feel like the Nintendo Switch should do a little bit of catching up on games that were not released for the Wii U, although Resident Evil Revelations was released for Wii U. Oh, by the way, Monster Hunter Stories is getting a demo in the American eShop on the 10th. Download it and check it out. That's for Nintendo 3DS, and it's going to be sweet. That comes out in September, like September 8th, and I'm like, that's so soon. Okay, I'm down with that, thank you. And then, apparently Monster Hunter Double Cross will be getting a Japanese demo on the Japanese eShop also on the 10th. So, if you're me, you're downloading that. And if you're also me, you're sitting there going, okay, well, I'm trying to remember what does what again? In terms of like which Japanese characters mean to confirm, which ones, etc., etc. I mean, it's not going to be in English, of course, but, I'll still play it. I'll power through it. I powered through most of the Japanese version of Survival Kids 2, and I powered through Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening in Japanese. So yeah, Japanese language does not scare me off from playing a game. I don't mind. I powered through Daigasu Band Brothers in Japanese. Perfectly fine. So August 10th, there are demos in both the American eShop for the Nintendo 3DS and the Japanese eShop for the Nintendo Switch for Monster Hunter Stories and Monster Hunter Double Cross, which are both Capcom titles originally. Those ones, maybe we'll hear something about Monster Hunter. You know what? It just occurred to me. If this is coming out in like October or whatnot, and they're going to have more Switch games out there, we might get Monster Hunter Double Cross in the US before Monster Hunter World, which would be hilarious to me. Anyways, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. If you're watching the footage, I'm probably still shooting at Moira because, yeah, I don't like that character. And yeah, hit that subscribe button, that share button. And if you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that little bell so that you are notified whenever we have a brand new episode of Area DMG. And until the next episode of Area DMG comes out, you are now caught up.